Okay, so to watch TV, well, let's start with satellite receiver, Bose surround, TV, wireless headphones. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is watch antenna TV. So we're gonna want to turn our TV on with this remote. Power button top right corner. On the TV, we're going to want to select the antenna input. Input button is right here. Okay, and when I press it, our inputs are going to show up. I'm going to press it multiple times till it goes to TV. Once it goes there, I've already scanned the channels, so they're already on there. So we're going to scan channels now, and the way you do that is after selecting the TV input, we are going to hit menu, which is this button right here. We're going to make sure that this little yellow icon is on this row. We're going to select down. Oh, pardon me. We're going to hit left arrow first on this little pad. Okay, now this column is selected. Now we're going to scroll down with the down arrow to the one, this icon, which says channel. Then we're going to hit the right arrow button, which will take us to that menu. We're going to scroll down. We're going to, since we're scanning for antenna channels, we want to make sure that cable is in the off position. Then we're going to go down to auto program. We're going to hit the center button, which is select, which is that button there. And then we're going to select OK. Now I'm not going to do it right now because it takes up to 30 minutes to set your channels. When you get to where you're going to need to, if you plan on watching antenna, you're going to need to scan channels for each TV. So you're going to need to do it on this one, you're going to need to do it on the front one. Very similar because they're both the same brand. If you say are in Kansas City and you, like I scan the channels here, that's good for all of Kansas City. So if you go to somewhere else in Kansas City, you don't have to rescan channels. But if you go somewhere outside of about a 60-mile radius, you're going to need to rescan channels because you won't get the channels from the old location. When you scan them, it will delete out all the previously stored channels, and it will save in only channels that you can get and view. Okay? So I'm going to just cancel so we don't have to wait half an hour. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of here. If you don't do anything, it will exit out all by itself. If you want to exit out quickly, I believe you press menu again, which is, it gives you a little key at the bottom there. So we hit menu, we get out of it. Now we can use TV sound if you want to not use the surround, and then you can just volume up. Sound will come out of the TV just like normal. If you want to do surround, we need to make sure that the TV is turned, the volume is turned all the way down to 1. If you turn it all the way down past 1, the surround sound won't work. Neither will the headphones. Okay, so it has to be on 1 for volume. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, if you want to watch antenna TV through the surround sound, is we're going to turn on the surround. So to turn on the surround sound, on these buttons here on the top, the far left is the power button. We're going to click it one time. This may or may not show up saying TV. It's going to depend on what input it is. To watch TV or satellite, we want the Bose system to say TV. Okay. Basically, that's it's going to amplify through the surround anything that is on the TV screen. Now, for DVD is a different story. When we switch to DVD, it will automatically play it through the surround sound. Okay. So currently, we are watching TV antenna, and we're getting our sound through the Bose surround. So at that point, we control volume with a working remote or with the volume up and down buttons right located the 2 in the middle, okay, directly above the Bose icon. And that's that as far as antenna. Now we're going to have a video on how to turn everything on so you can watch satellite. We'll get to powering up the satellite in another video, but this one is specifically for the bedroom TV. So we're going to want to turn our TV on. Again, top right corner power button on this remote. We'll turn our TV on. Then we're going to want to change our input, which is right there on the TV remote. We're going to want to change that to satellite. And the way you cycle through that menu is you just hit the button repeatedly as you can cycle through the different options. We want to select satellite. Okay? It'll automatically hit enter if you select, if you highlight what you want and leave it, it will automatically go to it. Okay, at this point now we need to turn on the receiver. This is your satellite receiver remote. Okay, power button to turn it on and off is right here in the middle. Okay, the two on the right are if you have this program to run your TV as well, but for what we're doing we just use this power button. So I'm going to hit power. This box here, which is your satellite box, is going to turn on. Once your satellite dome on the roof, which we'll go over in another video, is on, all you should have to do is just turn on the receiver on, and it should come on and just be up and running. Now, currently, again, just like with antenna TV, if you want to watch satellite through the TV speakers, you can, just by turning the volume up on the TV remote. Just turn it up as loud as you like. And if we're going to watch it through the surround, we can turn it down to 1. Remember, it has to be on 1 for the surround to work. It will work above 1, but you'll get a weird echo. So make sure it's down to 1, and then we can turn the surround on. Far left is the power button. And remember, TV antenna and satellite, this needs to display TV. If it does not display TV, the way we change the input is second from the left button, it says source. We can change that. That one says cable satellite, auxiliary, DVD, FM, AM, back to TV. So for satellite and antenna, we want the source on the surround to be TV.
If you're an ordinary American citizen or even another politician,
that's it. I'm sure you're familiar with this remote, possibly. If not, the channel up and down is that button right there. It says channel page. You can just channel up to change the next channel. If you'd like a menu or a TV guide, there's a guide button right here. We can press that, and it should bring up a current TV guide. Sometimes the TV guide may seem incomplete. If that's the case, it updates every night. I think at like midnight or something like that, daily. So if it seems like it doesn't have all the programming, or if you have a lot of things that say unknown, or I'm not sure what it might say, but if nothing shows up, just give it time. It will. It constantly refreshes everything. And that should be it. If you want to go through the TV guide, what you can do is you can use this channel up, page up, and that will take you a page at a time. Or you can use these arrows to scroll through it one at a time. So what we'll do is, let me just find something here. Okay, so now I went through pages, scrolled through, found something. Now I want to select NYPD Blue. So I'm going to use the single to select up, and then I'm going to hit the yellow button in the middle, which is select, and it'll pop up to that station, assuming you have it in your channel lineup. And there we go. That's satellite.
He just ran off.
Yep. So here's how to use the headphones if you want to view in bed without bothering anybody else. So in our last video we had the surround turned on, like so. We had our audio coming through the surround. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the surround sound. Okay, so that way now we have no sound at all in the room. The TV is still set on 1 on the TV control. We want the volume set at 1. Okay, and then what we'll do is we're going to come over here. Now the headphones do not work with this Bose system. It will work with TV antenna and satellite. Okay, so what you do is after turning the surround sound off, you come over here to the wireless headphones. This is a charging cradle. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick them up. We're going to flip them over. So this is how they come off the dock. We're going to flip it over. Right here is the power button. You're going to push and hold. That green light comes on. They are on. Now they've made these nice buttons to where you can get to these wearing them. The easiest way is when they're on your ears, you're going to reach up and you're going to feel for the 2 dots, which is this here and here. Once you find the 2 dots, one controls the surround level, the other one controls bass, and directly below those are your volume up and down. So if you can reach up there in the dark and find those 2 dots, right below those are your volume controls for the headphones specifically. So basically you just put them on. I have sound now. If I want to control the surround or bass, I find the 2 dotted ones. If I want to control volume, I go right below them and I can turn them up or down. When I'm done, I don't have to turn these off. Sorry if I was yelling. I don't have to turn these off because when I put them back on the charge base, it will turn off automatically. So I'm going to flip them back around. I'm going to set the connectors for the charging are right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this right on top. There's a notch, you can see it right there. This dock should go right in between that. I'm going to set it on top and just let them rest on the base. This shows my battery indicator of the battery condition of the headphones. So it's saying red. We haven't had them charging today, so yeah, they're charging currently and in their rest position. So that's how they'll stay when you're not using them. TV antenna, part cable if you was to ever use that, which you have satellite, can't imagine you would, but TV antenna and satellite. And then you would just control your volume here in bed. You would change your channels on satellite with the white remote from bed, or if you're watching TV antenna, you would change your channels with this remote. And again, you don't use these to change the volume, you use the controller on the side of the headset. Use the antenna on the front TV. So very similar to the rear TV, we're going to use the Sony remote. We're going to use the green top right button, power button. We're going to turn the TV on. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to want to make sure that our input, which is identical to the bedroom, that button right there, we're going to change that input, and the way you change it is you press it, it'll pop up a little menu on the screen, you press it repeatedly till it highlights the label that you want. So when I press that, this pops up. I'm going to press it repeatedly so it'll scroll through, and we want to select TV. Okay, you can hit the center button there or just wait a couple seconds, it'll automatically select. So what's on the screen right now is TV antenna. I've already scanned the channels, so I'm going to show you the process, and then you'll need to scan the channels when you get to where you're going. So what we're going to do is after we select our input and get to TV, depending on where you're at, no picture may pop up. It may just pop up a staticky screen. You're going to want to select menu, which is the blue button right there in the center of the remote. Then we're going to scroll down until we get to that icon right there, which is labeled channel. Then we're going to press the right arrow button on this pad here. If we're watching antenna, we want to make sure that cable is off. Okay, so we're going to scroll right past that. We're going to go to auto program. We're going to hit select, and then we're going to select OK. Now, since I've already scanned the channels, we're not going to wait for it to rescan. So I'm going to hit cancel now. But what you're going to do if you get to another state or outside of your standard coverage area, which is about 60 miles in a circle from the broadcast area. So if you go outside of that zone, you're going to have to rescan channels. And again, you're going to have to do that for each TV. You can't do it on one and it works on all of them. You have to scan each TV. So that being said, you would select OK. It'll go through. It's all automatic. And then it'll delete out old channels and only store in channels that you can view. So I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to hit exit or menu right here. Exit equals the menu button. So I'm going to hit menu. That'll exit out of that. Now you can use the TV volume just like in the bedroom, just by hitting up on the volume control. That'll play through these speakers right here. If you want a little bit more or a little more volume, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Bose surround. And but in order to do that, we want to turn the TV volume all the way down. I'm doing that on the TV remote right here, volume control. I'm going to take that down to 1. If it's all the way down to where it says minimum, this surround sound won't work. So it has to be on 1. Okay. Then I'm going to go over here to the Bose surround, and I'm going to, well, actually we'll cover that in a later video. But that is our TV. Right now we have antenna playing on the screen. We have the volume turned all the way down to 1 because we're going to turn on the surround. Okay, so the way we do that is we're going to get our Bose remote, which is all white, different from the satellite remote. Both white remotes, but the Bose says Bose on top. Okay, so we're going to use the Bose remote. We're going to hit the top left button here. That's going to turn the unit on. Okay, you'll see something pop up here on the screen. What shows up, that's what's called the input. So we want whenever we're watching TV antenna or satellite, we want this front unit to say AUX for auxiliary. That's different than the bedroom where it's labeled TV. So front TV, surround sound, input needs to be on auxiliary. If that does not say auxiliary, the surround won't work up here. Ready? Now we're going to talk about the wireless or the Bluetooth receiver that we set up so you can play music and whatnot from your phone through the surround. Okay, that's what this little device here is. So in order to use it, that is 110 volts, so the generator is going to need to be running. So if you want to use it going down the road, you got to be running the gen. And if you're running the gen, crank them ACs up because it isn't costing you any extra. So in order to use this, again, gen has to be on. So this is going to be on, and your Bose surround is going to be on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get this to the right input on the surround so that this can actually play music. So on the Bose remote, we're going to turn it on with the black button there, top left. I've already got it on. So then we're going to select the input that we decided to use for the Bluetooth is the VCR button. Okay, because that's nobody has a VCR anymore. It was an open port, and that was the best one to use. So I'm going to use these gray buttons here. Select VCR. Okay, you can see our input here is changed to VCR. Okay. Then I'm going to go to, and TV does not have to be on for this to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into on my phone, and your phone is going to be, if it's not an iPhone, it's going to be very similar. We're going to go into our settings, and then we're going to go into our Bluetooth settings, and we're going to, I've already connected to it. So what happened the first time I used it was I pushed, right on the top of this there's a little divot. You'll feel it's a little recess. Just click it. The little icon pops up, the Bluetooth icon, and then it popped up right down here in the discoverable devices. So I had a little icon pop up here that said Bose SoundTouch FAB819, which is this icon here. I selected it, it popped up into my current settings, and then you may have to actually touch it and select connect to device, depending on what type of phone you have. Once I did that, you can see here it says that I am connected. So at that point I can scroll through and find some music right here and hit play, and it's currently playing through the Bose system, Bluetooth, wireless. So you're going to want to control your volume with this remote. You can crank it up, and I believe that once you set the volume on there, you should be able to use the volume control on your phone to also control the volume. You can't turn the phone up past what this is set at. So I would, going down the road, so you don't have to use the Bose remote, because your phone's probably going to be reasonably handy going down the road. I would set this at the loudest that you want it to be, and then you can use your phone to turn it up and down. Personally, that's what I would do. It just seems the easiest. Other than that, when you're all done, just exit out of your music app or whatever you're using, Pandora or whatever, and you know, you can shut this down however, or you know, you might get to where you're going, and then you just change over your inputs and to whatever else you're going to use it for. That's it. Okay, so this video is going to be on how to turn on and set inputs to use the computer and the TV that we have set up as a monitor. So the first thing we're going to do, can't always guarantee that remote's going to be in that drawer, but grab this remote. This is your Sony TV remote. We're going to top right corner, we're going to press the green power button. Okay. We're going to wait for that to pop up, and it may stay black until, okay, never mind. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open the center cabinet. Now the power button, because of the way the antenna sits, I wanted it to, this was the option that I had to mount it. So the power button is in a little awkward spot. If you take your hand and reach, it's at this back corner. You really don't even need to actually see it. If you can feel the corner of the unit, which is right there, it's on the bottom, closest to the back. If you just feel underneath there, you'll feel a little dot. So we're just going to press that button. And then up here on the screen, our computer pops up. Now, if it does not pop up, we need to check to make sure that we're on the right input on the TV. Okay, this is from the computer to the screen is a HDMI. So what we're going to do is on the TV remote, top left is an input button. We're going to hit that, and we're going to see what input we are on. Currently, we are on HDMI 1, which is why it's showing up. If it was on another input, such as TV, it'll just say this: no TV channel found, select another input. If it sits on something like this for very long, it will shut itself off. Most new TVs do that. So if you turn it on, the first thing I would do is power the unit up, TV, and then double check your input, and you're just going to hit it multiple times until it says HDMI 1. Then reach down in there, bottom left, underneath, find the button, click it. Again, you don't have to look for it. It's very prominent. Select it. At that point, you have what's on the screen is coming out of the computer. Then you can link your wireless keyboard or whatnot to it, and link it to Wi-Fi, and you're set. And that's it.